Bat shots, chatting with MattTheBat. You chat, I chat, we chat, I'm fat, chatting with MattTheBat. Yeah!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to MattTheBat's Batchet Shit Show. I'm your host, MattTheBat, and guys, we fucking did it. We hit 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, it's a freaking dream come true, and we did this in only 7 months. We are absolutely unstoppable at this point. And guess what? Now that we hit 1K, I'm going to drop an incredible new series this month. Here's a quick promo to get you hyped. Enjoy. Once upon a time, there was a lonely little bat who made a YouTube channel. He told his small but mighty audience to tune in every week until the day that he hit 1,000 subscribers for a very special surprise. And now this little bat has hit that big milestone, and he's decided to take some time away from his studio to appreciate the great outdoors. I swear to God, if I see one fucking bug, I am going to lose my shit. Ah, how cool was that? Yeah, yep, I know. Anyways, this is yet another episode of my series, Bat Chats. It's a series where I interview unique people with unique perspectives. As always, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and absolutely smash the living shit add that little bell notification, ding, that we can stay up to date on all of the upcoming episodes. Today we have a very special episode because we have the talentless writer in the studio today. Yes, I know, very exciting. I'm super pumped to chat with him. I actually just dropped the Sim Series episode on him, which will be linked below, so make sure to check that out. And also stick around through the interview to see if you want some of that free Talentless merch I promised last week. But yeah, the dude's absolutely hilarious, and he's someone who I really look up to as a storyteller and an artist. So everyone please give a warm, no, not a warm, a smoking fucking hot round of applause to the talentless writer. Let's go. Woo! Come on out, Dimitri. Oh, there he is. All right, whoa, turn the flames down. Oh my God, you're gonna roast the boy. Hey, relax.
I'm scorching.
I'm sorry about that, dude. They get a little horned up in there. They get carried away. It's
they get horned up. Damn, it's a little too much.
But you're used to the heat because you're over on the West Coast like most of my friends at this point. How's that been?
No, it's definitely nice not having to like deal with all the shitty New York weather. Like my friends are texting me, they're like, it's fucking raining. It's like, oh, it's freezing cold. I'm like, bro, it's like so chill over here. It's so great. I don't have to deal with snow or anything. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible here right now. I was just driving and I thought I was gonna fucking die like always when you're driving in the Northeast. It's like unexpected. But yeah, man, what? Yeah. You're smiling over there. You're looking clean cut. You're a totally new guy, man. Is everything all right?
Yeah. No, it's weird. It's weird experiencing happiness for the first time in your life. It's you know, New York, like it's very hustle bustle, which sounds like weird to say. I don't know why. I don't like that rhyme, but it's definitely like everyone's grinding out there, and then over here it's like a lot more chill. Like people are actually enjoying their life instead of like trying to reach the next goal. It feels like it's definitely a lot different.
What's one of the weirdest things you've noticed about LA? Like, is it like the biggest difference? Have you noticed anything?
Like the one thing I noticed that I was talking to my friends about was like people give hugs out here. Like it's so fucking weird.
Well, you're not a hugger?
No, I've never hugged any of my friends in my life. Like my closest friends that I grew up with, never hugged them once. Out here, like when you meet someone new, like they just hug you. I'm like, what's going on? Like it's cool now, I guess. Like I f with the hugs, but like when I first experienced it, I was like, nobody wants to dap me up. They just want to hug. It's like so different.
Yeah, bro. In New York, they're like, they dap you up and then that's it. Like
exactly, bro.
Yeah, they don't want you to feel in New York. They repress everything. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's what you got to do to get by.
If you ever want good pizza, you got to come back, and not Queen's Pizza, of course, because you know I'm talking about Connecticut pizza. It's the best pizza. You know, no argument there, right? Yeah, because I can make the crowd cheer for me. They won't cheer for you. They'll cheer for me. So
I'm gonna look up a fucking soundboard right now on my phone. To cheer me. I've never had Connecticut pizza, so I can't really compare it. Why did Siri just come up? Why is Siri telling me about Connecticut pizza? Did you just fucking do that? That was so weird.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, on my fucking Mac. I didn't say anything about her. It literally just said looking for the Connecticut pizza on my fucking MacBook.
Dude, Siri knows, bro.
Yeah, oh my God.
No, it's funny because like all my friends, I feel like I've opened up so many different episodes with asking them about how LA is because like everyone's been moving there except for me. So I always ask them, and it's funny. And what's really interesting about you is you were living in Queens at your parents' house, and you kind of packed up your stuff and you went out to an Airbnb over in Hollywood, and it's like a totally different vibe. And it's really interesting because I have this visual of you pretty much being at your parents' house, and you're just recording in your room and like whispering under like a fucking blanket, and your dad's on the wall like, this little bastard's doing it again, he's making those cartoons, like all this stuff. So how does it feel to be able to record openly? Is it cool?
No, it definitely is. The main thing though about being out here is there's so much street noise where I am. So like I built this like makeshift, I'll show you, actually I have it right here.
Yeah, let's see it.
This
is inside. Oh wow.
With a bunch of like foam, acoustic foam, and then like I do a little Travis Scott thing where I put this towel over my head as I'm recording too, so there's nothing coming from the back.
Oh my god.
And so I recorded that with my Blue Yeti because or else you're just gonna hear motorcycles and sirens all the time. But yeah, recording back home, I would have to wait until no one was home. Like I would have to wait for my dad to go to the supermarket or something. It's just weird. I can't have other people hear me as I'm recording, even though they're gonna hear it once the video is uploaded anyway. I just can't have anyone hear my process. I don't know. It's so weird. I literally can't.
Oh, I know. Is your writing process similar? Like, do you have any place that you have to really zone in on, or zone in at, I should say? Because like for me, I need to be in like the busiest coffee shop, drinking cold brew, like jazz music playing, people talking. Like that's where I thrive. Do you have a specific environment where you write your things? Because I feel like the writing process is probably the most intensive part of the whole experience, right?
Yeah. So mine's the exact opposite. I can't be I've tried being in a coffee shop, being in a library. I just can't. I think I don't know. It's because there's too many people around, so I get distracted, or like I'm too busy like drinking my coffee. But I find like the best way I write is not even like on my computer, it's on my phone, just like on my notes app. I just write down everything, and I feel like it's way more natural. And most of my writing though I feel like is done in my head. And then once I have it all figured out, like how I'm going to word everything, like how I'm going to say everything in my head, that's when I finally write it down on my phone.
I've heard you say in the past that you sort of write your stories in the way of a comedy routine. And I think that's pretty interesting. And it does make sense because you kind of focus on these, as you've said in another interview, like minuscule details of life and how can I make something hilarious out of them? Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, because I feel like because my genre is storytime animation. I feel like most of them, they just try to tell a story, but like the comedy comes last, as opposed to me. I try to make sure the comedy comes first. And in a lot of cases, that leads to people thinking my stories are fake, because it's not like I over exaggerate them, but like I try to make them funny. And people are like, oh, is this even real at this point? But yeah, no, comedy is definitely the main thing I want to focus on. I'd rather be known as a comedian than an animator. That's the whole thing.
That's pretty cool. And yeah, I always wondered if they were fake, but I guess they're just, would you say they're just like based on real stories, but you take them in a different direction or add like your character's flair to them?
Yeah. I mean, the part that people think is fake is because like I make up scenarios, like what would happen if this took place instead in the story. But there's also like parts of the story that are real that people think are fake.
The skeptics.
Like I had this film teacher. I had this film teacher who was insane, and she was like super, not even like an animal supporter, like a overboard animal rights activist. And she would show us like all these films about how animals are being treated in factory farms, and to show us how the chickens felt, she put a cardboard box in the middle of the room and had like 5 of us go up and stand in the box. And she was like, oh, do you feel comfortable in the box? And like the girl was like, no, not really. She's like, well, how do you think the chickens feel if you don't feel comfortable? She was like wild. And people were like, oh, that's...
She's like, lay an egg, see how it feels then.
Exactly. Yeah, lay an egg right now.
You just drop a turd on the floor.
Oh my God. But it was crazy.
Are you ever worried that you're going to run out of these stories? Because, I don't know, I find with myself, I feel like I tell my friends the same 5 stories over and over again, and I feel like I've done it to everybody, and it just gets embarrassing. Like, do you ever worry you're going to run out?
Not really, because I still have like a lot of stories left that I want to tell, but it's just, I don't know how to tell them, because a lot of them work well as like a 30-second type story that I would tell to my friends, as opposed to like a 4-minute video. So I guess the main thing I'm trying to do right now is like find a bunch of stories that would go well together in like a compilation of stories.
Yeah.
Like I've done in the past with like some teachers, like the worst teachers I've had. So instead of each of those teachers being a separate story, I put them together in one video.
Yeah, I like when you do that. I think that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I talked about this in the Sim series episode, but the storytelling for me is what I'm really drawn to with you. And obviously I love the animation part of it, and I love how simple it is to understand, because I really do feel like the comparison between the crazy story and the very like not crazy animation is what makes your technique so special. And we see that with a lot of other animators too, who work on sort of like similar animation as well. But my question for you is, how do you feel that you compare to those animators that have extremely complex styles? Like Meat Canyon's the first one that comes to mind for me as an example, just because I always worry about myself, and I'm like, damn, I'm never gonna live up to a Meat Canyon level. Like, do you worry about hitting a wall, or do you ever feel like you would want to maybe make yours a little more sophisticated, or do you just like love the way it is now?
No, I honestly love the style that it is now. If anything, to be honest, I would want to make the style even more simple. Like I've thought about like even downgrading the style, because like, I don't know, I feel like it adds a certain charm when it's very like MS Paint, like Casually Explained or Brewstew. I feel like that adds a lot of charm. And I feel like where most of my inspiration comes from, aside from like Brewstew and people like that and Grade A Under A, is from like old, if you remember, like people would used to animate like Dane Cook and like Russell Peters stand-up comedy and just make like stick figures on MS Paint slideshows and shit. It was like the most bare bones thing ever, but it was so funny. Just I feel like it leaves more to the imagination than like a complex art style. No,
for sure. And theoretically, like your workflow can be tenfold in a way. You could pump out 10, maybe even like 15 videos.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not to say it's not hard work, but like you can probably do 15 videos in the time of one insane like Meat Canyon masterpiece. So it's all, and for me, it will have the same effect, because I love what you do. And it makes me laugh so much. And like we've talked about this before in person, because we've only met in person once before, which is a bummer because we're like pretty good internet friends. And you know, you've been kind of someone who I've been picking their brain about with YouTube and stuff like that, because you've been obviously doing this for a while. But it was really funny because when I was doing your Sim series episode, I was thinking like, all right, who's this guy influenced by? Like what has he watched? And I assumed that it would be a lot of the stuff that I watched, like the early internet Flash animation, and some of those websites being Newgrounds, Albino Black Sheep. Like those are really groundbreaking in the sense that those were the first time people were putting out animation on the internet. Like that was the very beginning of it, and could do it from their house, and were doing very low budget videos. Like End of the World, Ultimate Showdown was like my favorite one, and all this stuff. And I'm guessing you watched those, right?
Yeah, of course. Like I grew up on Newgrounds, like Homestar Runner, Albino Black Sheep, like all that stuff. I loved it. And yeah, like I think about how a lot of that older stuff has way more replay value than current stuff. Like there's a lot of great animators nowadays, but I feel like I can only watch their stuff once, as opposed to like an old Ego Raptor video that like I grew up loving, that I can watch like over and over again, or like Film Cow stuff I used to download on my PSP as a kid. I would like steal my grandma's neighbor's Wi-Fi and download Film Cow videos on my PSP. But yeah, I love that shit, and it definitely inspired me a lot.
Did your friends watch that? Because my friends didn't watch anything like that.
No,
like,
not at all.
I was in this enrichment program, and pretty much like all these kids in my class, like they would take a kid from each school, and they would go to this school, and it would be like a class of like 15 kids, and I was the dumbest kid in it, and everyone else, they were like geniuses. They were like building rockets out of pen caps and like crazy stuff like that. Yeah, it was crazy. Dude, another thing is we had a Twinkie that we put in a sarcophagus. We made a Twinkie sarcophagus, and the Twinkie is still alive to this day. Apparently, this has been like 15 years, and this Twinkie is still in a thing and is still existing.
Yeah, I've heard they have insane shelf life.
Yeah, man, I'll bring it back for you. You can take a bite out of it. We'll see what happens.
Thanks, I can't
wait. But no, I was in that class, and those were like the weird kids who showed me it, and I would go back to my normal elementary school, and those kids knew nothing about that. They're like, nah, man, we're watching SpongeBob, bro. So it's like, it's really weird. Like the people, I feel like there's a very unique sense of humor that came from those. And what I think you did is you reintroduced it to the world. And I think that like that style, and I don't know, I just think it's really cool. I think it's really special that these kids can kind of experience a similar thing that we got to.
Thank you, bro.
Let's talk about your face reveal, man. I mean, obviously you're a handsome young buck. Why did it take you so long to show your face a year ago. I know the internet was kind of pressuring you, but like, what was your whole experience with that and your mindset behind doing it?
So I didn't really care like if I showed my face or not. Well, at the beginning, I cared a lot because like the whole thing was I didn't really want to show my face until YouTube became my full-time job, and I don't know, because I just didn't really want to get recognized at work. I feel like that would be weird because I get like really aggressive and angry at work, and I didn't want like a customer to come in and they're like a fan, like, "You're the talentless writer." I'm like, no, get the out of here.
Dude, has that ever happened? I've actually been wanting to ask you that. Have they ever recognized, because your voice is so distinct that I feel like anyone could recognize it.
I've like a couple times, but it was like people that like knew people I knew. The whole thing was like I really wanted to wait until 1 million subscribers to do a face reveal, but Danny hit me up and he was like, "Oh, do you want to do my podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know, you don't have to show your face if you don't want to." But I was like, "You know what? I'll just show my face. We'll make like a whole joke around it." And he was like, "Yeah, it would be funny if you put like a cardboard cutout of your face over your face."
Yeah, that was great.
And that's what we decided to do, and it was cool. I mean, I got a lot of comments saying my face was like super long and looked like a Tylenol pill. A lot of roast in those comments, but I don't know. People were fucking. They were like, "You look like what I expected you to look like, but also not at all."
They thought you were like 16, right?
I don't know what they thought. I don't know if they thought I was 16 or if I was 34 or what they expected.
I saw one comment. It was like, "Oh my god, I thought he was a 16-year-old kid in his bedroom," like something funny like that.
I was a 20-year-old in my bedroom.
Do you ever worry? Like, I feel like you're pretty private about your real name and everything, because like obviously people know your name's Dimitri, but people don't know your last name, and that's good. Like, the privacy is good. Like, there's definitely a line, and I feel like a lot of people on YouTube just overshare way too much about their life, and I never want to be like, that person. Like, David Dobrik is someone who has people standing outside his house 24/7. Like, imagine living in the hype house, bro. You have like parents driving their kids up that long ass hill and dropping them off there. Like, you never want to be that, right? Because I don't want to be that.
No, definitely not. If somebody's outside my door, like, "Are you the talentless writer?" I would be like, "Get the out of here."
What
like,
would
that's
you do,
so
bro?
Scary. I don't know. Like, I was listening to did you see Anthony Padilla's interview with The Odd Ones Out that just came out like yesterday?
I didn't see it.
But they were talking about like fans coming to the house, and Anthony was like, you know, people would come to my house and be like, "Oh, we drove across the country to meet you." And he's like, "All right, I get it, but like, why? That's so weird. Like, this is my home. Like I understand like you're a fan, but like, I didn't invite you to my house. Like, I don't know who the you are. You could be anybody."
That's horrifying.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm like, I don't want to experience.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's really interesting because I feel like someone like you, someone like Danny, you both are mainly hidden behind the cartoons. So I think in a way it's like you're kind of separate from the personality of like you and your personal life, because you're storytelling or you're playing characters. Whereas if you were a Cody Ko, for example, I always wonder what it's like for him just to walk in a store and like get groceries, because he's one of the most recognizable faces on YouTube at this point, and it's crazy. Imagine being like a Logan Paul or something in like a mall. Like, dude, it must be fucking terrible, right?
Yeah, like I was walking down the street the other day and I saw Jeff Wittick, like he walked right past me, and I wanted to say like, "Hi," whatever, like I'm a big fan, but I felt bad because like he got stopped by like 10 other people right before me. It's like, that's probably so annoying. Like, I'm sure like at the beginning when you first start getting recognized, like it's cool.
It's cool, yeah.
And like you're like, "Oh, I can't believe I got recognized." But like after years and like constantly being stopped, I feel like that's definitely got to be annoying.
Dude, so funny you say that, because when I was staying in Hollywood, the news, you know, with everything going on with Jeff broke, and I was on my balcony and I was reading about it, and he walked by me. It was crazy.
Oh shit.
And he literally walked right by my and I was like, okay, maybe I bet his studio's over there, like, or like maybe he lives over there. And I was like, oh, that's kind of what it's like being out there, is you just see these people and you recognize them from weird places, and it's strange. It's like I saw Ela Klein once at Starbucks, like one of those. It's just one of those weird things that you just see, and I don't know. I would never want people to see me from their balcony and recognize me. Like, that is horrifying to me. God, like terrifying.
Like I think about like driving, and like when I drive, like sometimes I'll pick my nose, and like what if I was famous and somebody fucking records me picking my nose while I'm driving? I'm like, that's
Is that the talentless writer? Yeah, bro. Everything you do is so analyzed. But you've actually been putting your face in some stuff. I saw you in Sir Spence's video, which was great. I love his content. It's so good. He's one of my favorite sketch comedians on YouTube. I think he's just crushing it. And like, I saw you in that and in the Squid Games parody you did, which was so funny.
Yeah, it was a little rated R, that one.
Nah, man, it was good. So you don't ever regret not staying anonymous?
No, not really. Because I feel like at a certain point, like, even if you stay anonymous, like, I feel like that adds even more stress to your life. Like, people like, what's his name? You know Onage Pranks?
No, I don't.
He used to do like animated pranks, like prank calls back in the day. I'm sure you've heard some of them.
Oh, yeah. I know. I've seen that before, yeah.
He was like completely hidden, but he said like the stress of trying to remain that hidden, like nobody knowing anything about him, was just weighing on him so much. And like, it was
He's not Banksy, bro.
No, but
he's
still,
not Banksy, bro. Just kidding.
People knew like who he was, even though he was so hidden. Like,
oh, wow.
I have a friend, because he lives in Virginia, and I had a friend who was like, oh, like we knew where Onage Pranks lived. Like he didn't know people knew where he lived, but they were somehow able to figure that out. It was so weird. God. So then Onage Pranks made a video talking about like his experience with it, and like he ended up showing how like what he looks like. I don't know if he said his name, but like a lot of people like that. Like I'm sure like Corpse Husband and Dream, I'm sure they have like a lot of stress, like trying to keep completely anonymous. I feel like the more you try to hide it, the more people are gonna harass you for it. That's what happened with like Grade A, Under A. Like people try to dox him to find out what he looked like. And
I wonder how Lil Toe does it, because like like you know him obviously. I don't know him, but when I was in LA, we were at a bar in like Studio City, and he actually came to the bar, and I was gonna meet him, and I was excited because I was like, wow, I love his music, like I love what he's doing. I think him being anonymous is one of the coolest things ever. And it really is just such an interesting, I wouldn't even say it's a gimmick, because he's really so far into it that I feel like it's just a lifestyle at this point. Like this lifestyle is actually really cool. And he showed up and he tried to get in, but I think that he had to show an ID, and he doesn't have an ID because he doesn't have an identity. So he couldn't get in, and he wouldn't take off his mask either. So it was like, damn, like he really is committed to the character and committed to that lifestyle.
That's like, that's super far, because everyone I know who's friends with him has said they don't even know what he looks like, and they're like his best friends. That's what I was saying. Yeah, like I saw an interview. I forget what it was, but it was with Chad Churdleys, and he was talking about how he's never seen his face, and like I'm like, damn, he's got the coolest friends ever that just accept him for doing that. Like that's pretty awesome, man. That would just cause more stress, in my opinion. But I mean, he's able to pull it off, so I give him props for that. Dude, you know it's been stressing me out a lot lately. What? You know what? What? You don't know what? You have no clue? Your job? No, that too, but over that is your cereal ranking, bro. That shit. Oh. What's going on with that, man? Let me tell you, everybody gives me shit about it, but I will stand by it until the day I f***ing die. I just don't know who you think you are putting Apple Jacks and Fruit Loops as C tier, you fucking monster, bro. You put an extra Raisin Bran, you old fucking woman. Yeah, Raisin Bran is good. It's pretty good. You ever had Raisin Bran Crunch? That one's pretty No, good bro, because I'm not 97. If I were 97, maybe I would give Raisin Bran Crunch a try, but I'm not. First off, if you're over the age of 12, I'll even give you over 13. I'll let 13-year-olds eat Apple Jacks and Fruit Loops too, but if you're over that age and you're eating that for breakfast and not like when you're high as a snack, you are a fucking child, bro. Bro, you can't take situation into the ranking. You can't take situation into the ranking. Why not? Because it's about the pure taste of the cereal. I saw you putting in like, oh, shelf life, oh, numbers of bites. No, it's just like, I want to try one cereal per thing. The only thing that you can take into account is the texture, because that's part of the taste. And the texture with Captain Crunch is obviously very dangerous for the mouth, like you said, and I agree. But no, it is, but it's such a good, it's worth the risk. I don't know. If anyone agrees with me, come over to my side. I'm stealing the cereal army, and I'm gonna put Fruity Pebbles in tier A. Bro, Fruity Pebbles is disgusting, and Cocoa Pebbles is even worse. Cocoa Pebbles taste like fucking ground up crispy shit, and I hope you spit out that water. I know, I'm drinking water over here. Cocoa Krispies are so much better than Cocoa Pebbles, and I don't know how people can eat any of the Pebbles.
Bro, your ass
It's
wakes up and
disgusting.
eats Crave in the morning. The most
So, all right.
chocolatey dessert
let me
cereal on the
Let me tell you something
planet.
about Crave. I tried Crave again after I did that tier list, and it tastes like shit. I think I got confused because in Greece they have like a Greek version of Crave, or like I think in Europe in
Crave.
general they Crave. I think it's called Lion. But it's the same thing, but it
Ew.
tastes so much better. Bro, it's so good. Crave is trash. I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, it tasted better. I think they might have updated the recipe. I don't know. But I will say Crave was a mistake to put it that high.
Yeah, I think you need to remake the ranking of that at some point.
Maybe in like 5 years.
So also, I mean, I should have probably brought this up in the beginning of this whole thing. It feels kind of hard or strange to talk about now, but what was kind of your like start to doing this in general? Because obviously, like you make storytime animations, you have a bunch of series that you do, you have like reoccurring characters and all that kind of stuff. Like, what was that big push to start doing this? Like, where did that start? And were you always doing animation, or were there other things?
So like my whole life, I've wanted to be a YouTuber, mainly a gaming YouTuber as a kid. That was like my dream. So like when I was in 4th grade, like I feel like everybody mainly had a channel as a kid. But like when I actually started trying to become a YouTuber was like 5.5 years ago. I had like over the course of like maybe 2 years, I had about 6 different channels before I made TheTalentlessWriter. And they're all like, some of them are animation, some of them are like commentary, like Cody Co style stuff. They were all usually different, but I never really felt like what I was making was like authentic to myself until I finally made TheTalentlessWriter. And even then, like it went through a couple phases. Like the first video on my channel was actually a pilot for like an animated show that I was trying to make. That's like been unlisted ever since. And then like I also wanted to make skits. This was like holiday season of 2017, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had this channel for like 4 years, I think now. But yeah, it was one of like the many channels like I was going back and forth between. And originally I wanted to make this channel just skits, and I didn't even want to be a YouTuber anymore at that point because I was like, I don't think it's possible for me to be a YouTuber. Like, I don't think I have what it takes. I felt like, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be more like a behind the scenes guy, like maybe get a job as a comedy writer. But I was like, you know what? Like, I really want to become a YouTuber. Even if I suck at it, like maybe I'll find an audience that still likes me. And eventually when I made my first like signature TheTalentlessWriter storytime animation, which I think was called Green Eggs and Ham, after I made that, I was like, you know what? I see a vision with this style and I want to keep going with it. And it's led me to where I am today.
That's really awesome, man. And like, I'm so glad that you did that, and you made that push, and now you've made that push even further to be a full-time YouTuber, which is obviously the biggest leap of them all, because, you know, not a lot of security. Your income month to month is determined on if YouTube wants to keep you monetized, and how they're going to push out your video and all that, and like the uncertainties of the algorithm and stuff. So I think that's great. I applaud you for doing that. I wish I could do it, but maybe in like the next year or so.
Yeah, I think so.
And you know, for me, I've been very fortunate to have like you and Danny, of course, and Ketnips, who like have come on the show, and they're all animators that I really just appreciate a lot. And like, I think it's really cool that you also watch the show, because you're the first person to comment every week. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love the show, bro.
Thank you, man. And I obviously love your stuff as well, because I have those push notifications on, and and all that. And I want to say, like, I think it's really interesting because I've noticed that you've kind of taken me under your wing a little bit, and you've been giving me some love. I think so, because you've been like mentoring me a little bit. That's how I feel.
Okay.
You've been mentoring me. Like, you posted my Sim series video, and obviously that's how I hit 1K. And I think that a lot of the reason you do this is because you had a similar experience, and someone took you under their wing. Would you say that's true, Brewstew?
Yeah, Brewstew definitely was like such a big help for me. I mean, aside from like him shouting me out and stuff, he was such a big inspiration in terms of my style. Like, when I was starting TheTalentlessWriter, I actually emailed him, like asking for advice as a YouTuber, as like, you know, most small creators do. They'll hit up people for advice. And he actually responded, and he gave me really good advice, basically saying like, just make stuff that you would show to your friends and they would think is funny.
Whoa.
And I feel like that's the best advice if you're doing comedy that someone could give you. So, I mean, aside from that, he's helped me out a lot, from shouting me out, being part of a couple of videos, And I feel like without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. I feel like I would still be like at 5K subscribers. He's helped me out so much, and I'm so grateful for that. And even Danny, Coffeedan, has been so fucking helpful, and such a good friend and supportive. I mean, I used to work for him, and it was just like,
what? No way.
Yeah, I used to do like some internship for him, like help him out a little bit.
Back when he was in New York?
Yeah, exactly. He was looking for an intern in New York, and I applied for. Actually, let me tell you, before I saw that story, like a week before that, I was ready to delete my Instagram because I was like, I want to get rid of social media. And like, it's not even helpful for me right now because I have like 500 subscribers. And thank God I didn't, because a week later I saw a story that said he's looking for an intern in New York, and I signed up, and he chose me for whatever reason. And
wait, dude, I remember the intern. That was you?
That was me.
Dude, I never put two and two together because I knew that someone was doing it. And I knew that it was somebody in New York, and I did not realize like that you were the same person.
Yeah. It was and also I didn't realize like I was the only intern. I thought he had like, I don't know, I just for some reason I thought
no, bro, he had
like,
me.
Group of people. Yeah, he had you.
He had me. I wasn't an intern, I was just his buddy, and I was like loving it and just helping him out and doing shit.
Yeah, for free. No, luckily I made a couple bucks on the side. It was, it was like fun working for like a YouTuber. And at the time, like I was actually looking for an internship, like for a month leading up to that, like for some sort of creative field. Like I hit up Joe Santagato. I think I emailed Jontron, and like I signed up for like all the late night shows in New York, like trying to get an internship. And I was like, damn, like, I don't know, how am I going to get an internship like in the entertainment field? And I just saw that pop up, and I was like, the fuck? I was like, I never would have thought that Danny needs someone to work for him.
And it was like a perfect storm, really cool. And it worked out.
Yeah, exactly. Literally perfect timing. Because I felt like a lot of YouTubers actually worked for other YouTubers. Like Danny Gonzalez worked for Quarter Digital. Illuminations worked for Tim Tom, I think. Jaden Animations worked for I Has Cupquakes, I think it's her name. But yeah, so I felt like, maybe I should work for a YouTuber. Maybe it'll help me like learn how other people's processes are and like all that. And it definitely was helpful working for him.
Dude, no, for sure. I mean, seeing someone's workflow firsthand, and also like learning how to come out of your own workflow and work in someone else's is extremely beneficial, because not only does it teach you how to be on a team, but it also shows you just other processes that you might not be accustomed to if it was just you doing it on your own. Or, yeah, exactly. A lot of times I feel like within our own processes, we get stuck in our ways, and then you eventually will hire someone and be like, why don't they know how to do it my way? And it's like, well, you have a very specific way, and maybe if you had tried other forms, you could know how to delegate work better and stuff like that. That's something that I deal with a lot in my day job, so that makes a lot of sense. And like, obviously he's someone who is extremely motivated and is extremely business savvy, and so I'm sure that's probably helped, seeing that now that you have all merch and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, right? Yeah,
no, he's definitely like, he works way harder than most YouTubers I know. He's constantly like got all these projects lined up. I was talking to him the other day, and I was like, you have like so much on your mind that you're juggling. Like my biggest like issue right now is like, should I upload a story time or a skit? And like you have like all these projects to try to get done. I'm like, damn, it's definitely cool seeing like what other people are doing, and like makes me feel like shit for playing Sudoku for 3 hours a day.
I mean, that's how I feel when I watch your stuff, man. I'm like, wow, I'm so admirable of your fan base, and just how they all seem like pretty much on the same page, and they love what you do. And it's just cool. Like, I don't know, I feel like they feel way connected to you. And obviously, of course you get some weird DMs once in a while, apparently, for some weirdos. But for the most part, like, I feel like they love you, and they're there for you every week, and that's special.
Yeah, it definitely. I love my fan base. I love connecting with them. I love reading the comments. That's the main thing. Like, I love reading comments, and I feel like a lot of YouTubers don't, like, especially bigger YouTubers, they don't look at their comments at all. But like, I literally like love. That's my favorite part of uploading a video, is reading the comments.
It's addicting, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like even when I see like shit comments saying I suck, or like all that stuff, you're not funny, like I still enjoy seeing like people's reactions to it. And a lot of people tell me, because I heart like almost every single comment, and people are like, oh, I feel like it's not special if you heart every single comment. But I'm like, I don't know. I like what you said, so I'm gonna heart it.
That's why I talked about it in my episode. I specifically brought that up because I think it's really like modest and humble of you, even though you'll get thousands of comments sometimes, like to go through and actually read them. Because yeah, as you said, not a lot of people give it the time of day, and to get that like from your favorite creator is like the coolest thing ever. And I've been there before too. The coolest like I ever got was Seth Rogen liked my comment on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like next level cool. I was like, okay, I mean, he doesn't know who I am, but that was like one of those things. I was like, oh, this is f***ing cool. So I know exactly what you mean. Who's like your favorite YouTuber? Top 5, let's go.
All right, top 5. I'm gonna not include people I know because I feel like I don't want to cause any strain in relationships. So like, okay, so people that I don't know, I guess my top 5 right now are Jay Schlatt, Donkey, Michael Reeves, who else? I want to include Joel Haver, but like I don't want to include other people who I know. Joel Haver, he's like a fucking genius. I love his stuff so much.
I just started watching him. Dude, I'm so bad. Like I'm still learning about all this stuff. Like I took a break from YouTube for a while, and I just saw him in Churdley's video, and I started watching him because of that. But that was my first time ever even hearing of him.
No, I'm obsessed with this stuff. Like there's only a few YouTubers where like when I see their stuff, I like tell every single person I know about them. And Joel Haver's one, and the other two were like Gus Johnson and Steven Suptage. Where like when I found out about their content, I had to tell like every single person I know, like force them to watch their stuff.
That's funny. That's how I feel about Yes Theory. For me, they're just like a good one for me like that. Or like Eric Tabak, who you should check out, man. You gotta check him out. You see, man? Yeah, you gotta check him out. Nah, he's not even on YouTube anymore. But like he was one of those people
I don't know who that is.
Dude, I literally showed my parents him. I was like, this guy's funny. Yeah, I was like, he's just awesome. Do you actually not know who he is? Because you should really watch him.
No, I heard you like talk about him on an interview, and you said like he works for Yes Theory or something now. He's a BuzzFeed guy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like an ex-BuzzFeed guy who started his own channel, and now he's like a host on Yes Theory. But I was editing for him like all last year, and once he quit YouTube, it was kind of like the green light that I needed to just like move forward my own stuff, because I had all these new YouTube. There's all this new YouTube knowledge. Like he taught me all this stuff. Yeah, it was really cool. Like we made a video and H3 reacted to it, and that's what got me into H3. Shit. Yeah, it was like really cool. It was a foot fetish video.
What the f?
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you. We had a foot model rank all the YouTubers' feet, a professional foot model, and she ranked Ethan Klein's really low, and Ethan watched it on the show, and they're like, I edited the video. It was like so funny.
Wait, so who was number 1?
I think actually it was Logan.
Logan Paul?
Yeah, he's got some nice toes, bro.
God.
Yeah,
oh, God.
Dude. Say what you will about his personality, but he's got some wonderful little piggies, bro.
I'll have to check them out.
All right, man. Well, maybe this is the sign to wrap it up. We're getting into toe talk, man. We might have to offline about this. No, but dude, thank you. Honestly, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you, bro.
You're a huge inspiration to me, and I really truly appreciate you watching every week. Like I can't say it enough. Like everybody who supports me. Who helped me get to 1K. It's very special. It's like a very special time. Obviously, it's just 1K, but like it's that first milestone that's gonna keep. It just like fired me up that I want to hit 5K next, and like, you know, and then I don't know. I just thank you, man. You've been a great help and friend through all of this stuff.
Yeah, no, of course. I love your stuff, man. All your old stuff too. It's all great, and I want nothing but massive success for you. I want to see you hit 1 million before I do.
Yes, sir.
And, yeah.
Nah, dude, I'll never hit 1 million before you. When do you think you're gonna hit 1 mil? Do you have like a gauge?
I don't know. It literally can happen like anytime. It's so weird how YouTube works. So I have no idea. Like I've tried to predict it, and my prediction has always been wrong. So I'm like not trying to guess when it's gonna happen anymore. I'm
gonna guess June 2022. That's my final answer. And if I call this, then everybody who comments on this video owes me $20. All right.
All right.
Well, man, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, so I can't comment on it now.
Oh, yeah, no, you're not part of this, bro.
Because I'm gonna lose money.
By the way, I also want to congratulate these viewers who won this free Talentless Writer plushie. If you're one of these people, please DM me or find a way to get in touch with me so I can get this shit to you. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Dimitri, thank you so much for coming on. Please check out his work. He's incredible. All of his links will be listed below. I don't have an army to go comment, go eat cereal like he does, but for the people who, I think 2 people found you through me, which is enough for me. Those 2 people, if you go on his channel and you tell him that you love his stuff and you say, eat your vegetable, I don't know, that was stupid, but thank you. I don't know, bro, I'm panicking. It's at the end of the episode, it's late in the night, you know. Anyways, make sure to like, toss a comment on my channel, hit that subscribe button, and absolutely smash the living shit at the little bell notification, ding, that we can stay up to date when my new Seaside Stories series drops. Wow, that's gonna be hard to say, I gotta get used to that. I absolutely can't wait, and so make sure to tune in next week, or else.
Or else.
Yeah, buddy! Thank you, bro.